First of all, we will be understanding the structure of the eye with the orbit. So basically, what is eyeball? Eyeball is spherical in shape. You can see here. But it is not a perfect sphere. Perfect sphere क्या होता है? This is the perfect sphere. But our eyeball is not perfectly spherical. It has an extra curvature anteriorly. So due to this extra curvature anteriorly, it is called as the ablate. Yes, very good. Ablate spheroid shape. This is called as the ablate spheroid shape. This is one. Now, second thing, the consistency of the eyeball. Consistency means is it solid or it is liquid? So, the eyeball is not solid. It contains fluids. Which fluids are present? पता है? We have the aqueous humor, we have vitreous humor. So whenever we have fluids, it is called as the cystic consistency. This is called as the cystic consistency. What is a cyst? Cyst क्या होता है? Fluid filled cavity है. So name itself is explanatory है ना? Self-explanatory है. Eyeball contains fluids and therefore it is cystic consistency. And whenever we have a fluid, it will have a pressure. So because we have intraocular fluids, इसीलिए exert करेगा intraocular pressure. Intraocular pressure is 11 to 21 mm of mercury. This is the intraocular pressure. So three very important and basic things. I am writing the specific words. I am not writing the language. जिसको पढ़ने में you will take more time. So specific है, shape is ablate spheroid. Then number 2, cystic consistency है and it will exert a pressure. Pressure का normal range 11 to 21. ठीक है? समझ में आया? Now this eyeball is placed inside the orbit. Next page, look please. If you look at this, we have got the orbit. Now this is कहाँ से सेंड किया है? मैंने व्हाट्सएप पे आपको ना पर्सनली शेयर किया. वो ओपन करेंगे. नेटवर्क नहीं है, इस पे करके ओपन करके ले आओ. So we have the orbit here. Orbit is pyramidal in shape or it is conical in shape like this. These orbital cavities are pyramidal or they are conical. So towards the posterior side is the apex and towards the anterior side is the base. ये देखो, something like this is the orbit and the eyeball. देख रहे हो? So the apex is towards me, that is posterior, base is towards you, that is anterior, and this is how. ये क्या है? अच्छा, ठीक है. So we have the apex of the orbit which is posteriorly, we have base of the orbit lying anteriorly. और base में होता है eyeball and we can have the different actions. ये देखो, elevation, depression, adduction, abduction, and we can have rotation also, intorsion and extorsion. This is the basic structure of the eyeball inside the orbit. ठीक है? Okay. Right. Now, if you look at the walls of the orbit, so these two are the medial walls, like this, यहाँ पर. So they are parallel, these, है ना? और उसके बाद we have this lateral walls. Now, if I join this lateral wall, angle कितना है? 90 degree. If I join this lateral walls, the angle is 90 degree. So the orientation of the medial walls and the orientation of lateral walls different है. Medial walls are parallel, lateral walls are perpendicular. So what will be the angle between medial wall and the lateral wall? 45. So this is 45 and 45. Now half of 45, 22.5, which is approximating to 23. Now see, eyeballs are placed at 23. Now because eyeballs are placed at 23 degree, so if the muscle is also inserted at 23, तो क्या सा हो जाएगा? Straight muscle. That is why the rectus muscle that we will study in squint. But अभी से हम समझ रहे हैं, orientation है that the muscle which is inserted also at 23 degree will be the rectus muscle. Rectus मतलब straight muscle, and which are there at even larger angle like 51 पे है. So they will be tilted, इसीलिए they will be oblique muscles. So we will have two kind of muscles. One is the straight muscles, one is the tilted muscles. ये orientation हो गया. Now we can write the shape of the orbit. Orbit is pyramidal. Orbit is pyramidal, or you can say conical, and the volume is 30 cc. All those people who are seeing the class online, you can message me on the group. I have the group open, so any kind of doubt, any kind of issue you want to say, not audible, not visible, not understood, anything, please, you can share it on this. Right? Now see the next one. Next page, this is the base of the orbit. How many walls can you see inside this base of the orbit? How many walls are you able to see? 4 walls. We have superior, medial, then inferior, and then this is lateral. So these are the 4 walls. Therefore, it is called as the quadrangular. Therefore, it is quadrangular. This is superior, and this is inferior. Then this is medial. Is this one visible, or should I write with the black? This is okay, medial. Yes, and this is the lateral. Okay. Now out of this, medial wall is the thinnest wall. It is the thinnest, and the lateral one is the thickest wall, and the most important and epic question for FMG exam. I think this time also it had come, the most commonly wall to get fractured. This had come or not? Yes. So yes, most commonly to get the fracture is the inferior wall, and this fracture is called as blowout fracture. This is called as the blowout fracture, the very, very important FMG PYQ. So we will be doing all the FMG PYQs topic wise in the class itself. Afterwards, you have them in your workbook. You can revise at one time, and we have the videos also which are explaining. So if you want to revisit them, then we can look at them. And I'm always available at the Telegram group. You can tag me and you can ask it there also. So at least 4 times if you are able to revisit a thing, एक चीज को आपने 4 बार times revise कर लिया, there is no limit to more. But minimum की बात करके हम चल रहे हैं कि minimum you have to revise it 3 to 4 times, then it is sufficient. Okay. Now inside this base, how the eyeball lies. This is how the eyeball lies. Eyeball in the base of the orbit. So this is the complete orientation, how the eyeball is lying inside the base of the orbit. And it's very good that if you are making the notes along with me, because I know many of you must be having the notes from before, or you are having notes from any other place, no matter what. You know the thing. Then also if you will write along with me, at least एक time revision ही हो रहा है. And you are getting the thing कि this I was knowing from before, this I was not knowing from before, or this thing is changed, this is update. So there is no harm in writing. There will be a lot of benefits of writing, but there is no harm in writing. So it is best that even if you have the same thing before, if you do not have the same thing before, you know it or you do not know it. यही चार हो सकता है ना. तो ऑल द 4 ऑप्शंस में इट्स बेस्ट टू राइट, राइट। अगर आता है तो बहुत अच्छी बात है, नहीं आता तो और भी अच्छी बात है, हमने लिखा तो हमें आ जाएगा, है ना। तो इसलिए लिखो साथ में, वो नहीं करना कि मैम आपके नोट्स कहाँ से मिल जाएंगे, ये यही वाला कर लेंगे, ये है। देखो नोट्स आर अवेलेबल एवरीवेयर एंड दे आर अवेलेबल इवन मोर देन आई नो। बहुत सारे लोग मेरे नोट्स लेके आते हैं, मुझे भी नहीं पता होता कहाँ से आए। तो but you know the best is when you are taking the notes and you are reading from the same person, because you are writing it in your own language until and unless आप अपनी writing नहीं पहचान सकते एग्जाम्स में, आपको वही नहीं समझ में आ रहा, then you know it's okay, but otherwise देखो हम हमेशा अपनी writing से we are more comfortable to read। जो speed होती है ना, that is also maximum from our own notes, और speed matter, स्पीड होगी तो यू विल बी एबल टू कंप्लीट योर फर्स्ट रिवीजन इन द गिवन टाइम एंड देन यू विल बी एबल टू कंप्लीट द इनफ नंबर ऑफ रिवीजन। तो पहली अगर आपकी रीडिंग लेट होगी, फिर आपकी सेकंड लेट होगी, फिर थर्ड लेट होगी, फिर डर लगना शुरू हो जाएगा, फिर पैनिक ही हो जाएगा, देन यू नो दैट फोर्थ तो हो ही नहीं पा रही। अब हो सकता है दैट यू नो द थिंग्स फ्रॉम द थ्री रिविजन्स, लेकिन वो जो पैनिक ही होता है ना, दैट आई एम नॉट एबल टू डू द फोर्थ, आई एम नॉट एबल टू रिवाइज जस्ट बिफोर, उस पैनिक की वजह से भी वी स्टार्ट फीलिंग अंडर कॉन्फिडेंट, डर लग रहा है। तो डर को हटाने के लिए वी शुड डू द थिंग्स इन दी गिवन टाइम, कि हमने कंप्लीट कर लिया, हमने रिवाइज कर लिया। तो वो जो मोटिवेशन होता है जब हम मॉर्निंग में जब भेज रहे होते हैं आप लोगों को, तो सेंस ऑफ सेटिस्फेक्शन होता है, नो आई हैव डन, आई हैव कंप्लीटली डन, आई हैव डन माय बेस्ट। अब देखते हैं कि क्या होता है, वो बहुत जरूरी है। अदरवाइज कि ये नहीं रह गया, ये रह गया, ये रह गया, तो हमेशा हर क्वेश्चन पे डर लग रहा होता है कि शायद वो वाला क्वेश्चन ना आ जाए जो हमने छोड़ दिया, है ना। तो वो चीज उसकी वजह से क्या है कि इवन वी आर समटाइम्स नॉट एबल टू डू द थिंग्स दैट वी एक्चुअली नो। तो एक जो मोटिवेशन होता है, सेल्फ बिलीव होता है, ट्रस्ट होता है कि हमने करा हुआ है, दैट हेल्प्स यू टू डू इवन बेटर, यू गिव योर 100%, 200%। तो वो बहुत जरूरी है। Then see the eyeball from the lateral wall. So if the lateral wall, say the eyeball is coming out, then that is called as proptosis. So normally how much it should be there? Normally it should be 16 mm. So anything which is more than 16 mm will actually lead to the proptosis. Anything more than 16 mm. If the eyeballs are coming more than 16 mm out, then I can call it as exophthalmos, or I can call it as proptosis. So this is the complete orientation of the eyeball. What is the shape of the eyeball, shape of the orbit, how it is lying inside it, what are the different dimensions, and what is the lateral dimension also, along with blowout fracture. So we will be approaching for about 20 questions from the ophtha part. Even you get even more, because 20 तो I do take in recall, उसके बाद भी 1 or 2 आते ही है कि इससे भी आया था, जो मिस हो गया, इससे भी आया था। And one thing I do not know, you people know or not, that in your paper we have even more ophthalmology questions than NEET PG. NEET PG से ज्यादा आते हैं इसमें। सो ऑफ्था में 20 to 25 आते हैं, बट आई एम इवन टेकिंग ओनली 20। तो अगर 7 पर डे हम क्वेश्चंस करते हैं, then you will be able to do all 20 to 21 questions that we are expecting from ophthalmology. इससे कम नहीं आते। Images and everything will be covered from here. तो daily आपको जो पढ़ाया जाता है, you will go, you will read, you are looking at the images and the questions also we have done. तो that much is sufficient. और कहीं कुछ करने की जरूरत नहीं है। If you revising this portion and daily जाकर पढ़ो। उस दिन का जब हम सेम डे पढ़ते हैं ना, तो 100% रिटेंशन होता है। आज वाला आप कल पढ़ोगे तो 50% ही रिटेंशन होगा, थर्ड डे पढ़ोगे तो 50 का हाफ 25%, और फोर्थ डे पे पढ़ोगे तो बिल्कुल न्यू जैसा लग जाएगा, है ना, 0 पे पहुंच जाओगे। मैं 0 कहना नहीं चाहती थी, तो फिर मैंने इसलिए कह दिया कि जैसे पहले हो वैसे पहुंच जाओगे। अब जैसे पहले अगर आप 0 पे थे तो 0 पे पहुंच जाओगे, 5 पे थे तो 5 पे पहुंच जाओगे, जहां पे थे वहां पर पहुंच जाओगे। तो इट्स ऑलवेज बेटर कि हम जो है ना सेम डे जाके रीड करें, ट्राई टू डू सर्टेन क्वेश्चंस रिलेटेड टू इट। फिर मैं यहाँ पर भी आपको क्वेश्चंस बताती जा रही हूँ दैट वी हैव। तो ओवरऑल कंप्लीट पैकेज हो जाता है कि यू हैव सीन द PYQs ऑल्सो, यू हैव रेड इट, एंड और कौन से क्वेश्चन आ सकते हैं वो आपने प्रैक्टिस कर लिया, बस उतना काफी है ना। बहुत ज्यादा मुश्किल नहीं है हमारी जिंदगी, क्योंकि हमें स्कोर जो है वो एक बेसिक स्कोर लाना है, हमें परसेंटाइल नहीं लाना ना कि कितने लोग हमसे आ गए हैं। पीजी में तो फिर देन वी हैव दैट रेस ऑल्सो, अगर आप बहुत भी अच्छे हो 98 हो, बट बहुत सारे लोग 99 पे, हम तब भी पीछे हो जाएंगे. बट हेयर वी हैव टू ब्रिंग अ बेसिक स्कोर. तो ये बहुत अच्छी अपॉर्चुनिटी है टू प्रूव योर सेल्फ, टू मेक योर बेस. एंड दिस बेस, अभी क्या होता है, बहुत बार हमें लगता है कि थोड़ा पढ़ के भी 150 आ जाएंगे, लेकिन थोड़ा पढ़ के और 150 के लिए मत पढ़ो. ट्राई टू ब्रिंग योर बेस्ट, क्योंकि यहाँ पे अगर हम यहाँ पे भी पास हो जाएंगे, लेकिन अगर यू आर ब्रिंगिंग योर सेल्फ टू हेयर, सो दिस विल हेल्प यू इन योर पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन एंट्रेंस ऑल्सो. और वो भी तो हमें करनी ही है ना. या तो ये सोच लो कि खाली यही पास करना है, वो हमारे काफी, हमारे लिए तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. लेकिन आजकल वो काफी नहीं होता ना. एवरीबडी वांट्स टू डू पीजी. तो पीजी के लिए जब हमें, अगर आप 70 पे हो तो सिर्फ 30% और करना पड़ेगा, एंड यू आर देयर. अभी आपने खाली 50 करा, 50 पे पास भी हो गए, फिर आपको 50 और करना पड़ेगा. एंड 50 से थोड़ा पहुंच जाते हैं ना, थोड़े दिन हम रेस्ट कर लेते हैं, रिलैक्स कर लेते हैं, तो 50 से और 40 पे पहुंच गए. तो इसीलिए अभी ट्राई टू डू योर मैक्सिमम, ताकि सेम फिर 6 महीने में हमने एंट्रेंस एग्जाम भी दिया एंड वी आर क्लियर. एंड आई नो पीपल जो एफएमजी एग्जामिनेशन क्लियर करके विद इन 6 मंथ्स गवर्नमेंट सीट उन्होंने क्रॉस करी है, बिकॉज दे हैड स्टडीड दैट मच, इतना हार्ड वर्क किया है. तो अभी वो हार्ड वर्क करो कि ये तो क्लियर हो ही जाएगा. हमारा एंट्रेंस एग्जामिनेशन का भी बहुत सारा जो बेस लाइन होता है ना, जैसे आईआईटी में 2 होते हैं, एक मेंस होता है, एक वो होता है, तो वो वाला भी आपका क्लियर हो जाएगा. उसको उस तरह से पढ़ो, क्योंकि सेम नोट्स तो हम पीजी वालों को दे रहे हैं ना, little advanced than this. So already 70 to 80% will be covered from here only. फिर वही पीजी में जब पढ़ाऊंगी तो फिर मैं यहीं से स्टार्ट करूंगी स्क्रैच से. तो आपको अच्छा लगेगा कि ये तो हमें ऑलरेडी आता है ना. हाँ, what is this? Do you know this? This is a slit lamp. Slit lamp is the first machine that you see in OPD, जो basic instrument है to look for the internal structure. अभी जो हमने बात करा था वो था external structure of the eye. So when you look at the internal structure of the eye, for this we have the slit lamp, जिसमें हम देखते हैं up to the lens. So up to the lens मतलब cataract you can very finely see over the slit lamp. And why I'm saying cataract, because you know cataract is the most common cause of blindness. So if I want to rule out cataract, then the first investigation, first test that I should do is the slit lamp examination. ठीक है. All right, now you have the space here ना. Here we will draw the diagram of the eyeball. वो भी मैं print करा सकती थी, but I am making you to draw so that you actually know what is anterior segment, anterior chamber, कहाँ होता है aqueous humor, vitreous humor. When you will draw by yourself, you will be able to remember it better. तो कैसे draw करेंगे? We have to draw a circle. Now if you have the eraser, then you can draw a full circle. नहीं तो only first draw the posterior 3/4. जैसे I can draw like this, and then I will draw the extra curvature anteriorly. ये देखो, this is the ablate spheroid shape, and then I can rub this inner part. ये देखो, this is the ablate spheroid shape. अगर eraser है तो फिर हम इस तरह से ड्रॉ कर सकते हैं. अदरवाइज फर्स्ट ड्रॉ ओनली पोस्टीरियर 3/4 एंड देन ड्रॉ द एक्स्ट्रा कर्वेचर. उस तरह से भी आप ड्रॉ कर सकते हो. ठीक है. जिसको बहुत ही प्रॉब्लम है ड्रॉ करने में सर्कल, तो आप ये वाला सर्कल यूटिलाइज कर लो. वो सबसे ज्यादा है ना, बहुत सारे लोगों ने टर्न कर लिए पेजेस, तो वो वाला सर्कल भी आप लोग यूटिलाइज कर सकते हो, ये वाला. ठीक है. दिस इज द आउटर कोट ऑफ द eyeball, जिसमें we have the sclera, and this is the cornea, and this is the limbus, the corneoscleral junction. This one, outer coat ka we can divide into anterior 1/6 and the posterior 5/6. Anterior 1/6, posterior 5/6. This is the outer coat. Then for the middle, I am using a red color because it is the vascular coat. This is the middle one with the ciliary body and the choroid. This is the choroid, then is the ciliary body, iris, and iris के posteriorly we will have the lens. See, something like this is the lens, and this lens is holded by the ciliary zonules इस तरह से. These are the ciliary zonules which are holding lens in its position. And then behind this we have the retina. Retina is the innermost coat. Retina में how many layers we have? 10 layers. Very good. So these 10 layers are there, and one layer continues to form the optic nerve like this. देखो, this is the optic nerve that I have made. Like this. And this will be the retina. So we have the three coats. You can say this is outer, फिर ये हो गया middle, and this one is the inner one, and the front portion of the optic nerve is called as optic disc. ये देखो इस तरह से I will draw the optic disc. This is called as the optic disc with the vitreous cavity. So we have the inner coat, middle coat, outer coat with the lens, with the ciliary zonules, or iris is brown colored, so you can also do a good brown color in the iris like this. Now if I want to see the internal structure के लिए I will use a imaginary line. ये imaginary line है which is dividing the eyeball into the two segments. So on this side we have the anterior segment, and on the posterior side we have the posterior segment, and this is easy also क्योंकि we have two segments only. तो जो anterior to the lens है that is anterior segment, the one lying posterior to the lens will be the posterior segment which is divided by the lens. Lens एक imaginary landmark है which we are using. So I can say that the structures which are anterior to the lens, structures anterior to the lens along with the lens itself will come in the anterior segment, and the structures which are posterior to the lens, structures which are posterior to the lens will form the posterior segment. Now what is the fluid of anterior segment? Aqueous. Aqueous means water. So I will use a water blue color here. See this. Therefore we are using a water blue color here. This is aqueous humor. अब don't draw aqueous humor pink color है ना. Aqueous humor watery है इसलिए हम इसको blue बना रहे हैं, और optic nerve myelinated है, that's why I have made it yellow. तो color signify करेगा. And जो vitreous है that is collagenous, made up of collagen. That is why we are making green color bundles इस तरह से. And even the ciliary zonules also we are coloring with the green color. This is the vitreous humor. Vitreous humor is made up of collagen. That is why we have used green color for this. and aqueous humor is water like, that is why we are using blue color for it. Ciliary zonules, if you see, I have also colored them with the green color because it is also made up of vitreous, right? Mic not working. Check now. It's okay? Right. Now, the anterior segment can further be divided into the two chambers. One is anterior to the iris and one is posterior to the iris. This is anterior chamber and this is posterior chamber. Anterior to the iris, posterior to the iris. This iris is the dividing line like this, and the depth of anterior chamber is 2 to 3 mm. So we can call it as 2.5 mm. The average is also okay, or 2 to 3 mm. This is the depth of anterior chamber. So this is the complete diagram of the eyeball, where you can see the segments, then the chambers, the fluids, the shape and codes. 5 things that you should know at the end of this diagram. First of all, the 3 codes. Okay? The 2 segments, the 2 chambers, the 2 fluids and shape of the eyeball. These 5 things, and because whole of the anterior segment contains the aqueous humor and the 2 chambers are the part of anterior segment only, therefore both the chambers will have aqueous humor. Anterior chamber, posterior chamber have the aqueous humor, while posterior segment, or we can call it as a vitreous cavity, contains the vitreous humor. Is that okay, guys? Yes? Yes. So now if you have used that diagram, you will have the space here now. That place will be empty. Then there you can write about these things. One is your aqueous humor and one is the vitreous humor. Aqueous humor is water-like, watery consistency, and vitreous is gel-like. We can divide the aqueous humor into the 2 parts. The one present in anterior chamber, one present in the anterior chamber, and the one which is present in the posterior chamber. Anterior chamber में 0.25 ml, posterior chamber 0.06 ml, and vitreous humor is 4 ml. Something like this. Also, we can divide the vitreous humor into the 3 types. If I talk about the vitreous humor, if you do not have the space there, then you can write it in your notebook also. Put the heading in OTP and development, you can write it there according to yourself. See please the space. Then we have the primary vitreous, secondary and tertiary. Primary, secondary and tertiary vitreous. Primary is the one which is present in the intrauterine life. Intrauterine life means before birth. The vitreous which is present in the babies before the time of birth is primary, and secondary and tertiary are present after the birth. Now what is secondary? Secondary is the vitreous gel and tertiary is the ciliary zonules. These are the ciliary zonules. And I told you also that ciliary zonules are made from vitreous. That is why we have given green color to it. So if you see clearly, primary vitreous will not be present after birth, है ना? Because it was present only in the intrauterine time. So normally this is not present after birth.
Secondary is produced by vitreous gel.
Secondary and tertiary both are vitreous which are present after the birth. So this gel-like thing which is present, this is secondary, and this is tertiary. After birth, we have two things now. One is the ciliary zonules and one is gel-like thing. So जो gel one है, that is secondary, and zonules are tertiary vitreous. ठीक है? So there is a condition called as PHPV. There is a condition called as PHPV, that is persistent hyperplastic primary vitreous. Now can you see from its name itself, we can get to know that it is persistence of the primary vitreous. It is the persistent of the primary vitreous. So normally the primary vitreous was not present after birth. If the primary vitreous persists after birth, then it is persistent hyperplastic primary vitreous. This is the primary vitreous present after the birth, which can lead to, now a very important thing, leukocoria. Who knows the meaning of leukocoria? Leuko means white and कोरिया means नहीं, वो ल्यूकोरिया होता है. कोरिया हेयर इज प्यूपिल, है ना, वो बीजी है, ये ऑफ्था है. कोई बात नहीं, ट्राई करो. तो दिस इज ल्यूकोकोरिया, जैसे एन आइसोकोरिया, पॉलीकोरिया, ठीक है. सो इट इज विद रिस्पेक्ट टू आइरिस. तो when we get the whitish pupillary reflex, leuco means white, so, and chorea is a pupil here. So if I am getting a whitish pupillary reflex, and that is called as a leukocoria. This is an important DD of ophthalmology, that is the whitish pupillary reflex. Now why this is important? Because you know, whenever we are doing the clinical subjects, the clinical scenarios, क्योंकि अभी देखोगे, if you look at your last paper, we were having so many long questions, clinical scenarios. So they will always be solved by the DDs. Now suppose I give you one question, whole of lot clinical scenario दे दिया बड़ा वाला, and you have leukocoria in the question. Now you already know what are the causes of leukocoria. So you can easily rule out the options where leukocoria is not found. तो आपको नहीं भी आता, then at least one or two options you know where leukocoria is not found, you will easily remove them, exclude them. Whenever you do not know the exact answer of the question, directly you do not know the answer of the question, you can do this question by excluding the other options. Like if I say, who is Pushpa here? Now you do not know who is Pushpa, but you know that this is not Pushpa because his name is this, his name is this, his name is this, then whatever is left, that person might be Pushpa. है ना? तो इसलिए maybe you do not know that thing, तब भी you can tell the right answer. तो इसलिए पैनिक ही नहीं करना, क्योंकि you already have the answer in front of you. चार में से एक तो आंसर है ही ना, you already know कि आंसर इन्हीं में से है. हमें सीआईडी की तरह किसी बहुत सारे लोगों में से नहीं निकालना है. वी हैव टू फाइंड आउट द आंसर ओनली फ्रॉम 4 ऑप्शंस, एंड आफ्टर रीडिंग सो मच ऑफ द ऑफ्थेल्मोलॉजी, at least 1 or 2 options you may be knowing. So you will be left only with the one option that you are not knowing, or maybe 2 options. So even if you know one thing about that, and you are able to say कि ये इसमें नहीं हो सकता, then also the fourth thing will be the answer. ठीक है ना? Until and unless that we are so unfortunate कि every time we are putting the wrong answer, ऐसा तो नहीं है ना? When you will do the hard work, some amount of the luck will also favor you. Plus इतना practice करोगे तो you will get to know कि how to solve the questions. इसीलिए MCQ practice, more you will practice ना तो करना आ जाएगा. When you start doing any game, कोई any playing, शुरू में जब video game आता है तो we are missing, but you know, slowly and gradually we are able to cross so many stages. क्या होता है? Practice ही तो होती है. So here also you have to do the MCQ practice, है ना? So I'm trying to explain in your language, younger generation है ना? तो ये PS की language समझती है. तो practice is the main thing. कुछ भी नहीं है. More you do the practice, more you are feeling confident in doing questions. जैसे समझ लो कि stages है, 4 stages of the game है. If you are able to cross one stage, go to second, third, and then you are there. So is that clear? ठीक है. Now open your notebook, put the heading anatomy and development, and don't write anything on the first page. अगर notebook पे लिख रहे हो, loose page पे लिख रहे हो, then it's your choice. We will be writing about the anatomy and the development now. And if you are writing on the notebook, it's always better not to write anything on the first page. What we will write there is the most important things which are expected for 2025 that I will tell you in the last. So that we will write there. So first I'll talk about the diameters of the eyeball. How many diameters are we expecting in the eyeball? See, this is the orbit, and inside the orbit we have this eyeball with the extra curvature anteriorly like this. So if you are having the eyeball something like this inside the orbit, how many diameters are we expecting? Your options are 1, 2, 3 and 4.
3.
Very good. So 3 diameters of the eyeball we are expecting. Which 3? Number 1 is this, that is the antero-posterior diameter. So eyeballs are lying like this inside the orbital cavities. So one is this antero-posterior diameter. Okay? And if this is the eyeball, then one is this horizontal diameter, and another is this vertical diameter. ठीक है, समझ रहे हो? Speed is okay for you people? हाँ, right? Yes है. तो ये देखो, this is horizontal and ये है vertical and this is antero-posterior. ठीक है? So which one will be largest in these 3? Antero-posterior, ये वाला largest है. Now if I am dividing, if I am comparing horizontal and vertical, ये. So which one is more? Horizontal and vertical. What about this? Horizontal वाले raise the hands. Horizontal, raise the hands. हाँ, बढ़िया से. Vertical. Equal. नहीं, वो तो मैंने ऑप्शन ही नहीं दिया. हाँ, वर्टिकल वाले एक ये और एक तुम, और 3, 4, 5, 6. तो if vertical would have been more, तो हमारी आईज ऐसी होती ना? कैसी होती? ऐसी होती ना, वर्टिकल ज्यादा होता तो, बट आईज तो ऐसे है, तो इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? हॉरिजॉन्टल. तो सीख नंबर 1 of the ophthalmology class, common sense is most important. है ना? ऑफ्ता बाद में आएगा, 19 subjects will come afterwards. Common sense is universal. समझ रहे हो? तो वो हमेशा याद रखो, ये मत सोचो कि हाँ वो तो बंद कर दिया लॉग एंड नाउ वी आर थिंकिंग इन टर्म्स ऑफ ऑफ्ता, क्योंकि वो सब जगह काम आने वाला है. तो हॉरिजॉन्टल इज मोर देन वर्टिकल, तो शॉर्टेस्ट विल बी स्मॉलेस्ट विल बी स्मॉलेस्ट वर्टिकल हुआ. ठीक है, तो अब वी हैव अ कॉमन ऑर्डर दैट इज VHA, मतलब वर्टिकल इज स्मॉलेस्ट फॉलोड बाय हॉरिजॉन्टल followed by anteroposterior. So you have V, then we have H, and then we have A. V for vertical, yes, smallest है, horizontal, and then is the anteroposterior. V for vertical is the smallest, followed by horizontal, followed by the anteroposterior. And if I want to remember the diameter, how much it is, then remember just 23. 23 say we will start, and then at 0.5 we get 23.5, then we add 0.5, and then we get 24. This is all in mm. So likewise 5 questions, smallest, largest, and a particular diameter, 23, 23.5 and 24 you are going to get. These are all the adult diameters. These are all the adult diameters. Now what about the diameters at the time of birth, newborn में? Will you have same diameters at birth or different?
Different. That's why adult.
They should be different.
Adult.
Common sense, right? So that's why exactly I said that these are adult diameters, so that means they are not there na, at the newborn. Otherwise also baby is small, so likewise every organ will be smaller, है ना? Now if the surface is smaller, then that means power will also be less. Surface कम है तो power is also less. Power is less, that means rays will go more posteriorly to get focused. ठीक है? More posteriorly. Therefore, what will be the refractive status? Emetropia, myopia, hypermetropia. Hypermetropia. That means every newborn is hypermetropic. Now, why nature has given hypermetropia? What is the benefit? This is stimulating the eyeball for the growth. Because if it is already having myopia, तो कोई नहीं है stimulus, no need to grow then, है ना? So this hypermetropia will act as a stimulus, and as soon as we will get the adult size, then it will stop growing. तो दोनों चीजें हैं, पहले we have the stimulus also for the growth, and जब adult size we have achieved, then we require a stopwatch also, then it will act as a stop. Now the eyeball will not grow. अब अगर stop नहीं होगा तो what will happen? Eyeball will continue to grow throughout the life. वो भी नहीं हमें चाहिए. Therefore, as soon as the adult dimensions are achieved, it will stop growing. Eye at birth. Number 1, it is smaller axial length. Axial length. Yes, Joy, you are absolutely correct. Adults may metropia and newborns are hypermetropia. Good. I have seen just now. Small axial length is 16.5 mm. And therefore, we are having the hypermetropia. Therefore, we are having the hypermetropia by +2 to +3 diopter. +2 to +3, and slowly and gradually it will grow, it will achieve the adult size, and then हो जाएगा emetropia. Emetropia by 5 to 7 years. तो जो minimum age है at which emetropia comes is 5 to 7 years. उससे पहले all the babies are hypermetropic. 1 year पे, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5 year. Up we have a range. So some people may get emetropia at 5 years. some at 6 years, some at 5.5, some at 7 years also. जैसे कि every baby is not started to walk at the same day. कुछ लोग होते हैं, they are started walking even from their before their first birthday. Some are start walking on their first birthday. कुछ लोग even afterwards. तो range होता है. They will achieve hemetropia by 5 to 7 years. Then next is the development of the reflexes. जैसे कि we have the growth and development of baby होता है, इसी तरह से we have the growth and development of eye also. Eye is also just like the body. तो we have the development of certain reflexes, जिसमें we have the fixation reflex, then macular differentiation, and third is the stereopsis. These are the three reflexes. Fixation reflex will come 2 to 4 months, and macular differentiation 4 to 6 months, and then stereopsis. Stereopsis means what? Stereopsis means the 3D perception or the depth perception. 3D perception or the depth perception. So this will start at 6 to 8 months, and it will complete by 5 to 7 years. Now, first of all, what is macula? Macula is the central part of the retina. Central part of the retina is called as the macula. Which cells will be present in the central retina? Cones. And cones are responsible for color vision. Very good. They are responsible for the color vision. C for cones, C for central retina, C for color vision. So basically the color differentiation comes at 4 to 6 months. Newborns में there is no color differentiation. We always take so many colorful gifts for a newborn. But newborn actually does not have the color vision. That is for our own joy. Color vision is coming by 4 to 6 months. So what the baby learns first is the art of fixating, to fix on a particular object. And that is the reason why we always give the rotatory toy at the time of birth. So that, wherever the baby sees, the toy is visible to the baby. So वो भी scientific है. We always give that rotatory toy in the cot. Because that time babies have the wandering vision. Right? Now once they have developed this fixation reflex, then I can give a dancing monkey toy to the baby. Then baby can fix particularly on that. And then baby will also learn to appreciate the different colors. And then finally comes the 3D perception. And that is the, most beautiful aspect of vision. 2D may you will not appreciate it much. 2D movies, if you are seeing, you will not like. But when you are seeing it with the 3D goggles, then you like the movies. So that is the most auspicious and the most specific part of the vision. And that comes by 5 to 7 years. Now, emetropia was also coming by 5 to 7 years, and the stereopsis also comes by 5 to 7 years. So, total visual maturity, in a way you can say, total जो visual maturity है, final visual maturity है, that comes by 5 to 7 years. This is the time when a baby can go to the school and for the admission in the nursery class. So, for sitting in a class as a student, One should at least be 5 to 7 years, because we require the fixation reflex, we require color appreciation, we require the emetropia, then pincer grasp, art of appreciating the different colors. What do we study in nursery class? Red is an apple, green is a leaf, different shapes. So all this is not possible before 5 years, right? This is the story of growth and development of the eye, with the shape of the eye, important diameters, as well as codes, right? Is this clear to everyone? Yes, sir? Okay. Then the second is the embryology. In this continuation only, you can write the developmental portion of the eyeball, how the development is taking place. So the development of the eye, it starts at 3 weeks period of gestation. POG means the period of gestation. It is starting at 3 weeks and it completes at 9 to 10 weeks. It is starting at 3 weeks. It is completing till 9 to 10 weeks, and the gene responsible, very important, is the PAX6 gene. This is also a PYQ. PAX6 gene is the gene which is responsible for the development of the eye. Now it is developing from the 4 structures. The development of the eye takes place from the 4 structures, which will include the lens vesicle. Lens vesicle represents the surface ectoderm. Then number 2 is the optic vesicle, the neuroectoderm. Then we have the mesoderm, and number 4 is the visceral mesenchyme. Visceral mesenchyme, which represents the neural crest. These are the 4 structures from where the development is taking place. So we have the ectoderm, mesoderm, and the neural crest. Therefore, no part of the eye will develop from the endoderm. If I talk about endoderm, no part of the eye is developing from here. Because the eye is a surface structure. Therefore, no part of the eye will develop from endoderm. So first I will talk about the surface ectoderm, derivatives of surface ectoderm. What are the structures developing from surface ectoderm? The mnemonic is L3E and C square. L3E and C square. That is L for lens, L for lids, as well as L for the lacrimal apparatus. L for lens, L for lids, L for the lacrimal apparatus. Then is the E, E for epithelium, and 2 times is the C, C for conjunctiva as well as C for cornea. What is the type of epithelium in cornea and conjunctiva?
Non-keratinized.
Non-keratinized, stratified, squamous, right? So this is also nervous coat, inner coat will develop from here, like we have the retina along with the optic nerve. Along with this, we have secondary and the tertiary vitreous. Retina, optic nerve, secondary vitreous, tertiary vitreous. Along with this, we have the epithelium of the iris and the ciliary body. And finally, the most important thing, the smooth muscles of the iris. Name of these muscles, do you know? Smooth muscles of the iris, dilator pupillae and the sphincter pupillae. So what is the action of these muscles? They are doing the pupillary reaction, constriction and dilatation. Now because they are showing the neurological function, pupillary reaction, that is why they are coming from neuroectoderm. The development always depends upon function, because these muscles are responsible for showing the pupillary reaction because of sphincter pupillae and the dilator pupillae muscles. Therefore, they are coming from neuroectoderm. If the muscles are responsible for motility, then they will come from mesoderm. And if the muscles are responsible for neurological function, जैसे कि pupillary reaction, then they will come from neuroectoderm, right? Then see, we have mesoderm. Mesoderm से first of all is the primary vitreous, which was present in the intrauterine life, primary vitreous. Then extraocular muscles. These muscles are responsible for motility. Therefore, they are coming from mesoderm. How many extraocular muscles we have? 7. You? 6. And LPS. So combinedly you have, people are right. So we have 7 pair. है ना? 7 pair है. It's not 6 first of all. And 7 pair में we have the LPS muscle, then 4 rectus and 2 oblique. Like this. Okay. Then what else? We also have the temporal sclera. Temporal part of the sclera with the choriocapillaries as well as the vascular endothelium. Now here we have to mark the sclera, choroid and endothelium, because these 3 things will also come from neural crest. That is why I am marking these 3 things, because part of the sclera, part of the choroid and part of the endothelium will also come from the neural crest. Like for example, if I write the neural crest here, then first of all we have the sclera. all except the temporal sclera. Then choroid stroma, and third is the endothelium, which is corneal endothelium. It is the corneal endothelium. So again I have the sclera, choroid and endothelium. So you have to see that which part is asked, and according to that the question can be asked. Like for example, if they say word sclera, then it is the neural crest. But if they say temporal sclera, then go with the mesoderm. While if they say only endothelium, you have to go with mesoderm. And if they say corneal endothelium, then you have to go with the neural crest. Capillaries part is coming from mesoderm, and the stroma part is coming from the neural crest. So this is very important, where part of these things are coming from both the places, and you can get the question. This is important. And neural crest is especially important for 2025, because recently 2024 insect mein there was a question related to this. Like we were having the ciliary muscle. As a PYQ. Then we have the stroma of cornea, stroma of the iris, as well as the ciliary body. Then the orbit, as well as the trabecular meshwork. All of them are coming from neural crest. So neural crest is the most important part, especially the ciliary muscle has been asked recently. Then the three things that are also coming from mesoderm and the neural crest, that is also a reason why neural crest is most important. So with this we have done 2 out of 20, 1 from anatomy and 1 from development, 2 questions. Any question which comes from anatomy can be solved from this. Any question coming from developmental portion can be solved from this. No question can come outside this, from anatomy and development. So definitely 2 questions from 20 questions can be solved from this area. I hope it's clear. Anybody having any doubt can ask. Is it clear? Yes, sir. समझना क्या है, बस ये पार्ट्स यहाँ से डेवलप हो रहे हैं, इसमें समझ. रिएक्शन टाइम थोड़ा बढ़ाना पड़ेगा फिर तुम्हें. मैंने बोला कि टेम्पोरल स्क्लेरा, कोरियो कैपिलरीज एंड वैस्कुलर एंडोथेलियम, दे वर कमिंग फ्रॉम मेसोडर्म. ठीक है. Then I had marked sclera, choroid and endothelium. Now you can see the sclera, choroid and endothelium in neural crest also. दिख रहा है? ये समझ में आया? दिख रहा है? तो अब कौन सा स्क्लेरा इज डेवलपिंग फ्रॉम मेसोडर्म? टेम्पोरल स्क्लेरा. एंड बाकी स्क्लेरा फ्रॉम न्यूरल क्रेस्ट. इसी तरह से कोरोइड की कैपिलरीज आर कमिंग फ्रॉम मेसोडर्म एंड कोरोइड का रिमेनिंग स्ट्रोमा पोर्शन फ्रॉम न्यूरल क्रेस्ट. Endothelium in general, if they are asking, is from mesoderm, and endothelium of the cornea specifically is neural crest. तो तीनों में तीनों वर्ड आ गए. ठीक है, दोनों प्लेसेस पर. लेकिन क्वेश्चन कैसे करना है, इट इज समथिंग दिस. उसके अलावा what are the other things which are coming from neural crest? One is ciliary muscle that has been recently asked in insect. Then stroma portion of cornea, iris, ciliary body, all are coming from neural crest. Orbit, trabecular meshwork you will study in glaucoma. It is the sieve-like meshwork through which the aqueous humor drainage takes place. That is also coming from neural crest. Is that clear? I have repeated the neural crest portion, right? Now leave one page and put the heading lens. Lens. First the A, then B and the C of the lens. A, B, C of the lens. A for avascular. Lens is avascular. Then B, B for biconvex. It is having the biconvex shape in the adults. And then is the C. C for crystalline nature. C for crystalline nature. The basic A, B, C of the lens है, avascular है. The shape is biconvex in adults and it is a crystalline structure. Now because it is avascular, it is getting the nutrition from the aqueous humor. Therefore, it is getting the nutrition from the aqueous humor. The shape is biconvex in adults. Therefore, it is spherical. Spherical at birth. And it is crystalline nature because it is made up of crystallins. Crystallins are the proteins. Crystalline nature made up of crystallins. Crystallins are the proteins. For example, alpha crystallins, beta as well as the gamma. We have three kind of crystallins where alpha are the largest and beta most common. So we have so many questions: avascular, nutrition from aqueous humor, biconvex, spherical, crystalline, proteinaceous, largest, most common. All these questions can be solved from this portion of the lens. Written? Yes. Now we will draw the shape of the lens. This is the biconvex anterior and this is posterior. And this will be the equator here. So I can say that this is the anterior surface. This is the posterior surface, while these are the poles. We have anterior pole, posterior pole, anterior surface का ROC is 10 mm and posterior surface ROC 6 mm. ROC means radius of curvature. Radius of the curvature. This is 10 mm, this is 6 mm. फिर इक्वेटर का डायमीटर, दिस इज इक्वेटोरियल डायमीटर. equatorial diameter, this one is 9 to 10 mm. Equatorial diameter 9 to 10 mm. And if we go with the antero-posterior diameter, this is the antero-posterior diameter, which will be 3.5 to 5 mm. And here I can draw the zonules. These are the ciliary zonules which will hold the lens. The ciliary zonules. And it lies over a sulcus. That sulcus is called as the patellar fossa. This one is called as the patellar fossa. First see here, then write. ये देखो, something like this is the lens biconvex. ठीक है? So we have this anterior surface and ये हो गया posterior surface. Now ये तो flat है, but actually lens is biconvex like this. So we have this anterior pole and this one will be the posterior pole. ठीक है? Now we have different radius, 10 mm and 6 mm. Now always remember that radius is inversely proportional to curvature. मतलब जिसका radius is more, curvature is less. And if the radius is less, curvature is more. ठीक है? So which surface will be more curved? हाँ. So it is inversely proportional. तो जिसका radius less है, like posterior surface, and see I have drawn also na posterior surface more curved. That is why I have drawn posterior surface more curved because radius is less. तो steep ज़्यादा होगा ना, more steep, more curvature. ठीक है? Now see the ciliary zonules which are holding the lens. ये हो गए ciliary zonules. So if there is trauma to ciliary zonules, see lens will become unstable. Subluxation. We will be studying about subluxation. And this lens lies over a small sulcus like this. So this sulcus is patellar fossa. Name is fossa, but it is not a fossa. Fossa matlab well-defined depression. Fossa is that. But actually it is not a well-defined depression. It is just a sulcus and it has to do nothing with the patella also. Name patellar fossa है. Patella से इसका कोई मतलब नहीं है. Fossa भी नहीं है. It is just a small sulcus over which this lens lies. So the two surfaces, their radius, then diameter. One more thing. This was the equator. Like lens was holded like this. तो ये क्या है? Equator. Therefore, this is the equatorial diameter. जब मैं equatorial diameter की बात करती हूँ, then this is equatorial diameter. And this is antero-posterior diameter. So this antero-posterior क्या हो गया? Thickness of the lens. तो जब मैं बात कर रही हूँ lens thickness ये है और diameter ये है. तो अगर वो पूछते हैं what is diameter 9 to 10 और अगर वो पूछ रहे thickness then 3.5 to 5. ठीक है ना? It is something like this. So there are so many questions which can be solved again from this. Anterior ROC, posterior ROC, which surface is more curved, equatorial diameter है, thickness है, patellar fossa, ciliary zonules, so all can be solved from here. अभी ठीक है? लिख पा रहे हो, समझ पा रहे हो, दोनों कर पा रहे हो?
So this patellar fossa will be in the vitreous?
It is not in vitreous, it is anterior to vitreous. Vitreous is behind it. Now the lens के fibers. So if I draw the lens, it was like this. ये देखो. and this is the central portion N, and this is the C. N is the nucleus, which is the hard part of the lens, and C for cortex. Cortex is the soft part of the lens. So when I'm talking about the lens, I have two types of fibers, soft fibers and hard fibers. Hard fibers are nucleus, soft fibers are cortex. Now, which will have more refractive index, soft or hard? Refractive index will be more in hard or soft? रिफ्रैक्शन होगा तो सॉफ्ट है. अगर एक सॉफ्ट है, मान लीजिए मैंने आई हैव केप्ट अ फोम पीस, ठीक है, और एक वन इज कार्डबोर्ड, सो विच सरफेस विल डू रिफ्रैक्शन मोर? ठीक है, समझ रहे हो ना, स्पॉन्ज विल एब्जॉर्ब, तो रिफ्रैक्शन तो कम होगा ना, तो हार्ड थिंग विल गिव यू मोर रिफ्रैक्टिव इंडेक्स. सो दिस विल गिव मी 1.42 और कॉर्टेक्स 1.39. तो इफ दे आर आस्किंग मी द रेंज ऑफ रिफ्रैक्टिव इंडेक्स, तो रेंज हो गया 1.39 टू 1.42, ये हो गया रेंज. Therefore, this is the range of the refractive index. And in between the two, we have so many concentric layers which are present inside the lens, like this. Like this. These are the concentric lamellae or the layers. So basically lens is just like a onion. जैसे होती है ना बहुत सारी layers we have one over the other, वैसे ही lens है. Innermost node is the nucleus and then we have so many layers and peripheral will be cortex, something like this. और इधर आ गया the equator. This will be the equator, something like this. And all around the जो equator है, there we have a covering of the lens. This covering is called as a lens capsule. ये देखो, capsule मतलब covering है. This is the lens capsule. ये हो गया. तो ये बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ द लेंस है, जिसमें न्यूक्लियस, कॉर्टेक्स, डिफरेंट लेयर्स, कहाँ पर इक्वेटर है, रिफ्रैक्टिव इंडेक्स एज वेल एज द लेंस कैप्सूल. तो टोटल एनाटॉमी ऑफ द लेंस जिसे कहते हैं वो, नाउ यू नो, डायमीटर्स पता है, शेप पता है, द रेडियस ऑफ कर्वेचर, एनीथिंग विच दे आर आस्किंग अबाउट द एनाटॉमी ऑफ द लेंस यू कैन आंसर फ्रॉम हियर. लेंस कैप्सूल मतलब कवरिंग है ऑल अराउंड द लेंस, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज द लेंस कैप्सूल. Have you drawn? Everybody has drawn this earlier. Here, this side also. फिर next आता है lens metabolism. So now the biochemistry of the lens, metabolic activity of the lens, वो कहाँ होती है? इसके लिए we have a very simple mnemonic, NOCM. NOCM मतलब N से हो गया the nucleus and C for the cortex. Nucleus is inert which contains the oldest cells. N, O, no. So we have the oldest cells in the lens, while C and M matlab cortex is metabolically active nucleus contains the oldest cells. This is also a PYQ. While cortex is metabolically active part of the lens. तो अगर हम बात करते हैं न्यूक्लियस की, इट इज द मोस्ट इनर्ट एरिया, ओल्डेस्ट सेल्स है, नो मेटाबॉलिक एक्टिविटी, एंड कॉर्टेक्स मेटाबॉलिकली एक्टिव है. दिस मेटाबॉलिक एक्टिविटी अकर्स विद द हेल्प ऑफ सोडियम पोटेशियम पंप. सोडियम पोटेशियम पंप का नाम सुना है? हैव यू हर्ड अबाउट इट? यस मैम. कहाँ पर? सेल मेम्ब्रेन में. तो हाउ डज इट वर्क? हाउ मेनी सोडियम विल गो आउट? 3 सोडियम विल गो आउट, एंड हाउ मेनी पोटेशियम इन? 2 पोटेशियम, जिसके वजह से कॉन्सेंट्रेशन ग्रेडियंट होता है. अब कॉन्सेंट्रेशन ग्रेडियंट से व्हाट विल हैपन? सोडियम विल रीअब्सॉर्ब वाटर, है ना. ड्यू टू दिस सोडियम पोटेशियम पंप देयर विल बी अ स्टेट ऑफ relative dehydration. There is a state of relative dehydration in the lens. Relative dehydration है, not the total dehydration, not total overhydration. It is the relative dehydration, and this is responsible for maintaining the transparency. So basically we are worried about the transparency of the lens, because if the transparency is lost then we will have cataract, and cataract will cause blindness. So in transparency किसकी वजह से? It is due to sodium potassium pump, and pump is present in the cortex. So if anything happens to the cortex, metabolic activity decreases, then this pump is disturbed, then this transparency will not be maintained. And the most common cause for that is aging. अब aging एक universal process है. You cannot reverse aging. We cannot stop aging. We cannot prevent aging. We can only hide aging. है कि नहीं? इसका मतलब every person who will have aging will develop cataract. और aging कितने पे मानते हैं हम लोग? 60 years पे. So any person who is more than 60 years will have decreased metabolism. BMR कम होता है ना धीरे धीरे. So when there is decreased metabolic activity, decreased pump activity, decreased transparency, and we will have cataract. So it is aging which will lead to the overhydration. Overhydration will lead to the denaturation of the cortex proteins, क्योंकि these proteins were crystalline. So when there is overhydration, proteins denature होंगे. जैसे when you boil the egg, तो देखा है egg के अंदर भी we have proteins. So when you boil the egg, they convert into white area, albumin में. इसी तरह से लेंस प्रोटीन्स आर ऑल्सो क्रिस्टलाइन. सो व्हेन देयर इज ओवरहाइड्रेशन, डीनेचुरेशन होगा. डीनेचुरेशन से दे विल कन्वर्ट इनटू व्हाइट ओपेसिटी, एंड दिस व्हाइट ओपेसिटी विल बी कॉल्ड एज कैटरैक्ट. तो दिस इज हाउ एक्चुअली ओवरहाइड्रेशन लीड्स टू कैटरैक्ट. कैटरैक्ट का नेम कैटरैक्ट क्यों पड़ा? वाई इट इज कॉल्ड एज कैटरैक्ट? बिकॉज कैटरैक्ट का मतलब है वाटरफॉल. बिकॉज द लिटरल मीनिंग ऑफ द वर्ड कैटरैक्ट इज वाटरफॉल, तो इसलिए उसको कैटरैक्ट कहते हैं. बेसिकली इट इज ड्यू टू ओवरहाइड्रेशन. ओवरहाइड्रेशन ड्यू टू एजिंग है, एंड दैट इज द होल पर्पस वाई एज रिलेटेड कैटरैक्ट इज मोस्ट कॉमन. तो ऑल ओवर द वर्ल्ड, ऑल ओवर इंडिया, द मोस्ट कॉमन कॉज ऑफ ब्लाइंडनेस जो है वो कैटरैक्ट है, एंड मोस्ट कॉमन कैटरैक्ट इज एज रिलेटेड कैटरैक्ट. देयरफॉर वी कैन से दैट दिस इज द मोस्ट कॉमन cause of the blindness. Most common cause of the blindness is the cataract. ये भी एक important PYQ है. Have you understood how cataract will occur? हाउ एज रिलेटेड कैटरेक्ट विल अकर, सोडियम पोटेशियम पंप, ओल्डेस्ट सेल्स कहाँ पे प्रेजेंट है वो भी, एवरीवन. Now talking about the type of metabolism. What type of metabolism is present? दो ही होते हैं ना, one is aerobic and one is anaerobic. तो कौन सा होगा, aerobic और anaerobic? It is mainly the anaerobic. Mainly anaerobic glycolysis. It is mainly the anaerobic metabolism. Now, because we have mainly anaerobic, we will have more of free radicals. Free radicals क्या होता है? Free radicals is free radicals. What is free radicals? क्या करेगा? Oxidative stress, है ना? Yes. So, if I have more of free radicals, therefore more of aging. And more of aging means more of cataract. इसीलिए लेंस इज सो मच प्रीडिस्पोज टू एजिंग. सारे ऑर्गन्स में से एंड ऑल दी पार्ट्स ऑफ आई में से भी लेंस इज मोस्ट प्रीडिस्पोज टुवर्ड्स एजिंग. इसीलिए कैटरेक्ट सबसे ज्यादा होता है, क्योंकि लेंस इज हैविंग एनारोबिक काइंड ऑफ मेटाबॉलिक एक्टिविटी. विच वन इज बेटर, एरोबिक या फिर एनारोबिक मेटाबॉलिज्म? कौन सा बेटर होता है? एरोबिक. एरोबिक बेटर है ना, क्योंकि इफ आई हैव मोर ऑफ एनारोबिक, मोर ऑफ फ्री रेडिकल्स, ऑक्सीडेटिव स्ट्रेस एंड स्ट्रेस रिलेटेड ऑल द थिंग्स विल अकर अर्लियर. इसीलिए वी आर ऑलवेज आस्क्ड टू टेक मोर ऑफ फ्रूट्स, बिकॉज फ्रूट्स में एंटीऑक्सीडेंट्स है, सो दैट कैन डिस्ट्रॉय दीज फ्री रेडिकल्स, राइट. नाउ हाउ टू डिस्ट्रॉय दीज फ्री रेडिकल्स? इसके लिए वी हैव द एप्पल जूस, नहीं, एंटीऑक्सीडेटिव मैकेनिज्म. एप्पल जूस लेंस में कहां से जाएगा? हाँ, लेंस में आईवी लाइन लगाएंगे, लेकिन वो भी नहीं जाएगा क्योंकि ये वेस्कुलर है ना. तो एंटी ऑक्सीडेटिव मैकेनिज्म. तुम लोग अपने हिसाब से सोचते हो ना, वहां पर तो ग्रीन टी ज्यादा पीते हैं या एप्पल जूस पीते हो तुम लोग? तुम लोग सभी पीते हो, जूस तो नहीं पीते हो, पता है मुझे. तभी इसलिए जब भी एफएमजी की क्लास लगाई जाती है मॉर्निंग में, मैडम नोबडी विल कम, या हैंगओवर ही नहीं उतरा होगा तब तक. सो इन दिस एंटीऑक्सीडेटिव मैकेनिज्म, सबसे बड़ी बात क्या है, उससे आ जाता है इनिबिशन. तो आपको नहीं पता कि आपको टीचर के सामने क्या बोलना है क्या नहीं बोलना, आप सब बोल रहे हो, है ना, एक्सेप्ट भी कर रहे हो कि हैंगओवर उतर जाता है. So it consists of the beta carotenoids, which are the precursor of which vitamin? Vitamin A, yes. And साथ में we have vitamin B, vitamin C and vitamin E. Antioxidative mechanism is also a PYQ. PYQ क्या होता है? Previous year question. So it consists of beta carotenoids. अरे लास्ट क्लास में ये भी पूछा था, इसलिए मैं पूछ रही हूँ, फिर पता चले ऑफ्ता तो खत्म हो जाए. मैम एक चीज पूछनी है बस कि PYQ क्या होता है. Along with vitamin B, vitamin C, vitamin E होगा, and along with this we have got the 3 enzymes also. 3 enzymes. 3 enzymes में one is catalase, then we have superoxide dismutase, very good, and then third is glutathione peroxidase. These are the 3 enzymes. कैटालेज, लोग कह रहे हैं कि पीवाईटी भी पूछ लो इनसे क्या होता है. पीवाईटी क्या होता है? बेटा पीवाईटी आता नहीं होगा, लेकिन ये पता है कि पीवाईटी क्या होता है. वी हैव गॉट दी, इतना हैंगओवर भी नहीं है ना, इतना आता है. So we have the catalase, superoxide dismutase and the glutathione peroxidase. So ये क्या होता है? all except PYQ है इस पे. All of the following enzymes are involved except, all of the following vitamins are involved except, ये वाला is the important part. Antioxidative mechanism है which is responsible. नहीं तो क्या होगा, even before 60 years also lens will start having aging. So up to 60 years when we have this antioxidative mechanism, it is preventing cataract. अब क्या होगा 60 years के बाद this mechanism is getting weak, इसीलिए we have more of free radicals, फिर more of aging as well as more of age related cataract. ये देखो पहले, is this clear up till now? इसमें कोई confusion तो नहीं है? अब वैसे तो मैम टॉक इन इंग्लिश, बट ये सब बातें हिंदी में भी समझ में आ रही हैं, यू नो. थोड़ा थोड़ा. देन लेंस सिलेक्टिव होता है, सिलेक्टिव एमनेसिया जैसे, सिलेक्टिव हिंदी देनो. देन द लेंस ट्रांसपेरेंसी. सो द फिजियोलॉजी ऑफ द लेंस depends upon the transparency. Transparency के causes, number one is the avascularity. Lens is transparent because of its avascularity. Lens is transparent because of the crystalline nature. Then lens is transparent because of the relative dehydration of the lens, because of the relative dehydration which was due to pump was in the cortex. And very very important is the MIP26. What is MIP26? क्या होता है? Major intrinsic protein. This is also a PYQ, major intrinsic protein. So this is one aquaporin which is also responsible for maintaining the transparency. This is the total anatomy, physio as well as biochemistry of the lens, structure of the lens, shape of the lens, then diameters of the lens, the type of metabolic activity, refractive index, fibers, then the causes of the transparency also. A, B, C you know, and anatomy you know, biochemistry you know, physiology of the lens we know. Now we will be talking about the cataract. Now talking about the cataract. Cataract will also lead to the DD of leukocoria. The whitish pupillary reflex leukocoria का most common DD. So whenever you have leukocoria in the question, whitish pupillary reflex in the question, the most common cause will be the cataract. How can we classify this cataract? One, I can classify according to the age. We have congenital and developmental, and one is the acquired. And one is the acquired. अब इन दोनों में से which one will be more common? Acquired is the more common. एंड मोस्ट कॉमन एक्वायर्ड अभी हमने पूछा, इट इज द एज रिलेटेड और सेनाइल. मोस्ट कॉमन इज दिस सेनाइल और एज रिलेटेड. एंड सेनाइल में we have two types. One is cortical and one is the nuclear. So it is the cortical which is more common, and then in the cortical we can have the cuneiform as well as the cupuliform. So it is the cuneiform which is more common. तो कोई भी more common, if they are asking, it is cuneiform type of cortical, type of senile, type of acquired cataract, जो कि most common है. Whenever they are asking any question on most common, we can answer it from there. तो ऑल टुगेदर जो मोस्ट कॉमन कॉज ऑफ ब्लाइंडनेस होती है, दैट इज द क्यूनिफॉर्म टाइप ऑफ कॉर्टिकल टाइप ऑफ सेनाइल टाइप ऑफ एक्वायर्ड कैटरेक्ट. सेनाइल मीन्स मोर देन 60 years of age. This I told you. This is the most common variety out of all the varieties. Written this one. Then other classification is morphological. Morphological classification means which part of the lens is having cataract. उसके basis पे भी we can have different varieties of cataract. एक तो is age related, like it is at the time of birth or it is taking place in the early years of life या फिर adult में है. And one is what part of the lens is opacified. So according to this, number one is capsular. If the capsule is opacified, then it is called as capsular cataract. So this capsule can be anterior capsule or the posterior capsule. Therefore, anterior capsular cataract and posterior capsular cataract. Now, capsule ke beneath we have the subcapsule. So that will be the subcapsular cataract. It can be superficial cortex. It can be beneath the anterior capsule or beneath the posterior capsule, anterior subcapsular as well as posterior subcapsular. Then number 3, cortical, if it is in the cortex, and number 4, nuclear, if it is in the nucleus. Anterior capsular, posterior capsular, anterior subcapsular, posterior subcapsular, cortical, nuclear. And what was there between cortex and nucleus के बीच में क्या था? The lamellae. So it can be between this also. That is called as the supranuclear. Supranuclear. And finally the polar. If it is at the poles, like anterior polar, posterior polar. If it is exactly at the poles, it is the polar cataract. तो मतलब we can have total these many morphologies. If anybody is having cataract, out of these 6 morphologies, he can have different morphologies. And out of this, it is the posterior subcapsular which is causing the maximum diminution of vision. Maximum diminution of vision is the posterior subcapsular type. They can call it as the most significant variety, visually significant, या फिर which is visually most handicapping type of cataract. These are all one and the same thing. कुछ भी पूछते हैं most severe or causing maximum diminution of vision, visually significant, visually most handicapping. तो सबका आंसर हो गया posterior subcapsular. लेकिन most common कौन सा था? Most common is cortical. तो most severe and most common are always different. हमेशा याद रखो, anything which is most severe will not be most common. तो ये सिर्फ ऑप्था के लिए नहीं है, it is for every clinical thing. कोई भी चीज if it is most severe cannot be most common. जो डायबिटीज मोर कॉमन है वो लेस सीवियर है, जो डायबिटीज लेस कॉमन है वो मोर सीवियर है. इट इज फॉर एवरीथिंग. ठीक है. So one is most common, one will cause the maximum diminution of vision, and third is this polar cataract, which will give the typical onion ring appearance, which is also called as the onion peel appearance. Onion ring appearance or onion peel appearance. This is also a PYQ. सुप्रान्यूक्लियर को लैमिलर भी बोल सकते हैं. And ring like appearance है, something like this. We have the so many rings in this. If this kind of cataract is appearing, then this is onion ring appearance. Onion peel भी बोल सकते हैं, onion ring. So if I take first with the congenital cataracts, congenital cataracts में क्या, congenital glaucoma में है बबलू. फिर मैं दोबारा एक लाइन बोल दूंगी, फिर तुम लोग बोलोगे कि मैम बोल रही है. हैंगओवर. चलो. वन इज द मोस्ट कॉमन. तुम लोगों ने इंसिस्ट करा था, देखो तभी बोला है मैंने. हैंस प्रूव्ड होता है ना. मोस्ट कॉमन कंजेनाइटल कैटरैक्ट इज द ब्लू डॉट, which is also the punctate. मोस्ट कॉमन है, therefore नॉट सिग्निफिकेंट होगा, नॉट विजुअली सिग्निफिकेंट, therefore not visually significant. So if I draw a rough image of this, ये लेंस है, and here you are getting this blue dot like opacity, therefore it is called as blue dot cataract. Dot dot है, punctate का मतलब क्या होता है, dot dot. So it is dot dot like cataract, powdery cataract, blue dot cataract, and because you know it's most common, therefore it is not visually significant. So if they ask you most common, then this is the answer. But if they ask you most visually significant, तो ये आंसर नहीं होगा. Then the answer will be different. Most common, visually significant. Most common, visually significant, then that will be different, called as lamellar cataract or zonular cataract, or it is also called as the rider's cataract. Rider's cataract. This is most common along with the visually significant also. अब ये कैटरेक्ट क्या है, या तो इट इज प्रेजेंट इन अ पर्टिकुलर लेयर, लैमेलर मीन्स पर्टिकुलर लेयर, जोन्यूलर मीन्स इन अ पर्टिकुलर जोन, और द राइडर्स कैटरेक्ट बिकॉज इट रिजेंबल्स द स्पोक्स ऑफ द साइकिल व्हील, इस तरह से. Therefore it is called as rider's cataract. This is also a PYQ, which resembles the spokes of the wheel-like appearance. This is most common, visually significant. And then number 3 is the total congenital cataract. So one was lamellar, one was just punctate. Now for the first time we are having total congenital. ये total congenital होता है by the torch group of infections. Torch group of infections, what are these? क्या होती है? Toxoplasmosis. And O for others are rubella. C, cytomegalovirus. And H, herpes. So why they are clubbed together? Pediatric group of infections which they can pass the placental barrier and cause congenital malformations, जिसमें से most severe is not sure. Most severe is rubella because here we can have rubella syndrome. Baby पे क्या हो सकता है? The congenital rubella syndrome. Yes. अब congenital rubella syndrome में which organs are affected? The organs are eye, then ear and the heart. Eye में we have the nuclear pearly cataract. Then ear में sensorineural hearing loss and heart में PDA. And if all three are present, then this is called as the triad of the congenital rubella syndrome. If we are having all three, we are having cataract also, we are having hearing loss also, PDA also. तो अगेन यू नो यहाँ पे ओबीजी के टॉर्च ग्रुप ऑफ इन्फेक्शंस, पीडियाट्रिक्स का कंजेनाइटल रूबेला सिंड्रोम, आई का कैटरेक्ट, ईएनटी का हियरिंग लॉस एंड हार्ट का पीडीए, सो मेनी सिस्टम्स आर इन्वॉल्व. तो टोटल क्लिनिकल सिनेरियो कैन कम. इसीलिए आई एम राइटिंग आई ओवर दिस. आई मीन्स इंटीग्रेटेड क्वेश्चन, लॉन्ग क्वेश्चन कैन कम. So while I am teaching you, I will also tell you कि from which area you can get a long scenario type of question, क्योंकि इसमें so many systems are involved. OBG में मदर को fever with rashes था, pediatrics में multiple organ involvement है, ENT में hearing loss है, eye में cataract है, so many things are there. Then we will also learn about salt and pepper retinitis and the rubella. So all these things can combinedly give you a question.